Hello, it is your sleepless god. Maybe, who knows? Uh, Back with What If Ben 10 Started Dating Charmcaster, part 7, 8, roughly around that area. Uh, so last time we left off, Ben was in Undertown. They went on this adventure, and actually they finally found the bad guys. Him and Rook, you know, got that all over with, but when he went back to his house, or his apartment, uh, he actually saw his entire family there, or his family except Kevin, but that's technically his brother. And he realized after a while that, oh, they know that charmcaster. That's, that's cool. And he's not affected by it at all. So, he just kind of accepts it. They have a little bit of a conversation about it, but that's basically it. So, let's start the video. Now, after that day, Ben is actually more in peace than ever. There's not a secret anymore about his relationship with Charmcaster. Even, yeah, he was keeping it in, and yes, he knew Kevin had it, but really, it's a secret between him and his cousin Gwen, and he loves his cousin to pieces, but he just knew that letting them know would be a bad thing. But days went by, and they, Gwen and Kevin finally went back to college, to finish their stuff, and Rook and Ben actually got closer. They did some, some searching, basically, in this, because they got nothing better to do, but truly, Ben and everyone he cares about is fine until something happens. Rook and Ben were on one of their other scouting missions, as Rook doing the Rook things, asking Ben questions, because Ben's been out here for almost his entire life. For eight years now, he's been working this job, basically. He knows people, he knows the streets, he knows everything about it. He knows it well. So Rook is asking him questions. So he's like, hey, how do you see a suspicious person from not a suspicious person? He says, well, usually suspicious people keep their body clutched up. They're keeping their body internal. They're trying to hide something. Sometimes they are, sometimes you get lucky and they could just have a glowing object, but that's not, most of the time that never happens. As Rook says, like that guy over there, and he looks over and he sees kind of a teenager, roughly ages of 14 to 15 years old. He says, as he has a technology looking kind of thing on his arm. He says, exactly like that guy. As Rook was about to he's like, as Ben's like, come, keep the speed, slow down just a bit. How fast? Go 23. Just looking at the kid, analyzing him front to back. Nice. So he pulls out the Omnitrix as he clicks on clockwork. As he slows time to a standstill, opening the car and walking out. As he looks at the kid, can't be older than 14, and grabs the kid's bag and takes it off as restarts time. As he looks at him and says, what do we have here? As the kid looks at him and says, hey, he looks at him, Because it's Ben 10. He has a reputation to be a monster as well as be a good person. But he says, hey, I don't want any trouble. Ben opens the bag as he sees lightning. He says, what are you doing? As he pulls out these lightning creatures. As we know them as, I don't know what we know them as. Ben calls them something. I forget. But, yeah. As he lightning, basically lightning in a bottle. He puts it on the ground. He says, as Ben de-transforms. And that's actually scarier. As he tosses the backpack down and grabs him by his neck. Now, Ben's actually a little bit taller than this kid. And he rips him to his face. Basically hiring him. And says, what are you doing with these creatures? The kid's I'm answer the fucking question before I rip out your fucking teeth. As the kid's, he drops the kid and he says, now answer the question. What are you doing with these things? As he says, I'm just delivering them. Wrong answer. As Ben grabs his arm and just rips it to one of the walls and just hits it against it. Says, now are you? As he says, as he grabs one of his fingers and he says, now, where is the supplier? As this is when Rook comes up and Rook is kind of shocked how ruthless Ben kind of be. As he says, tell me, please. Who is the person you're trying to give these to? The kid's I come on, kid. You're 14 years old. You got parents, don't you? I got a mother. I don't want to bring you in. I really don't want to. I'll put you in handcuffs, though. And I'll send you to the plumber. I'll send you to the plumbers and I'll just forget about you. So he's holding one of his fingers, kind of bending it back, just a little bit of pain. Now tell me. I'll just let you go. I'll let you go home. It's a gang called the Wreckers. They take lightning bugs or zappers and they use it as an energy source. I was one of the runners. As he closes his eyes, he says, come on, kid. You don't know. As he grabs his arm and pulls him close and he says, what? That's quick cash you need for your family? Food can't get on the table? I promise you there's better ways. I promise you. Please, don't make me catch you ever again doing this dumb shit. He kind of launches the kick and kicks him in the ass a little bit. Come on, move. As Rook says, shouldn't we put him with the 40s? He says, no, he's just a dumb kid. I was like that too. If I didn't have Uncle Max, I'd probably end just up like that. Probably worse. Now let me look at these things. As he opens the bottles, as two electric currents pop out, it's they start shocking as he feels his fingertips getting shocked. Tiny shocks across his body. As he looks at the things, he says, why don't you tell me where your friends are? As a couple of the electricity just comes off his body as he sees them go up to the light and they start running. I guess it's time to chase. As they start running against these lightning creatures, as they keep on moving and moving and moving as they finally get to the docks. As when Ben opens the door, he's horrified. He sees like a massive organization full of like teenagers, young adults, and like even like older people grabbing bear like full canisters of these lightning creatures. As Rook says, as Rook and him like kind of sneak off to the back, trying to look around as they are basically loading some of these creatures into a massive energy vault. It seems like they're going to send these off to someone. They don't know who, but someone. As he's looking at them, hears a quiet sound of an energy beam going close to his head, and he says, as he looks up and he sees a 18-year-old boy with a charge beam at his head, saying, "Put your hands up, I'll fire." Ben puts his hands up and says, "Probably won't." He says, "You think so? I know what these things do. I've done worse." "You've done worse, you say. I can hear in the way you speak, I can hear in the way you talk that you haven't done worse. Don't even. I've done worse." As he looks over at Rook, while he's putting his hand up, clicks one of the buttons in his multi-tool. As even my partner Rook over here has probably done worse than you. As the multi-tool shoots out a weapon, as he dodges the laser pass, shooting one of the barrels, alerting everyone else. As he pulls out a little, I want to say a lightsaber, but it's just an electric sword. As the energy pops out, he slices up, grabbing the creature that is energizing the entire weapon, pulling on the handle, and just releasing it. As he sees like a bunch of like these lightning creatures, as he looks up, smashes him in the back and kind of launches him 20 feet in the air. As you see a bunch of these guys pop out, and you see boom, boom, a bunch of laser pass comes off of everyone as he's like, fuck, poof, as, Rook starts firing, and he says, Ben, he says, "Yes, Rook, what do you need?" He says, "I think it'd be a good time for Alien X." He says, "I've told you this. It's a last example reasoning. I can literally warp fucking reality with that shit." As he pulls out, as he clicks on it, and turns into Cannonbolt. As his body, he looks at him and says, "Well," as he's like, he says, "This is not what I was looking for, but it would work." As he crunches back into his body, as he rolls off, bing, hitting one person into the chest as a bunch of laser blasts hits him, as it doesn't affect his armor at all. As he goes boom, 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 multiple like bowling pins, just gets hit by Cannonbolt spinning as he comes off of it, landing on his feet, de-transforming. As Rook says, "Dang, that was slick. But what about that?" He says, "What about what?" As he sees a guy kind of buff with like kind of a Punisher shirt come up, as he grabs, as two orbs hit Ben on the chest, two orbs hit Rook on the chest as it shoots out an energy shield around them. As Ben and Rook look at each other and they say, "Well, we're kind of fucked, aren't we?" As this guy, mohawk head, buff as shit, a towel around his waist, towel around his neck, looked like he just did like a really hard workout, looks at him says, yeah, you are. Now I want to know, why in the flying fuckaroonies would you guys want to save these guys? As he taps on one of the glasses, he sees one of the lightning bugs like spark around. As I want to know, what do you have with the benefits? Ben says, true and honest to God, as he leans back into his bubble. Nothing. As the guy says, what the frick then? You're fighting over nothing? It's ridiculous. You're more animalistic than anything else. So he looks up at him and says, animalistic, you say? Now, my question is then, because you asked so many of me, what are you doing? And he says, well, these things, come up a good profit. Almost infinite energy. I can see that. Who are you giving those crates to, though? Oh. Well, that's top secret, Just can't be telling everyone my buyers and sellers. Ben takes a deep breath and says, it's very true, and I cannot deny that. But that just means I have to kick your ass just a little bit harder, so you tell me. This guy says, what do you mean? He says, Rook, as he clicks a button, as you see the balls just kind of flicker and then disappear. See Ben and Rook land on his feet. As this is where we're going to end the video now. Hope you guys will like it, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.